Hello everyone. I myself Srishu Chintakindi will be explaining you one of the code chef's assignment problem, that is students and fighting. Let's look at the problem statement. Chef is a class teacher. He has n students in his class. Chef recently conducted an exam. The scores of all the students is given to you. Now his students are very competitive and will start fighting if there is more than one student who topped the exam. It is our job to figure out whether his students will start fighting or not, so that chef can go prepared to the class. Now according to the problem, we are supposed to find out that if there is more than one topper in the class, then we are supposed to give out the output as fight, and if there is only one student who has topped the class, then we have to give out the output as peace. So this is the input format. The first line of each test case contains an integer t, denoting the number of test cases. The description of t test cases follows. The first line of each test case contains an integer n, denoting the number of students. The next line contains n space separated integers, that is the array, the ith of which will be denoted by score I, that is the student, that is the score of the ith student. Now this is the output format. It's very simple, that if there is more than one topper, we have to print out as fight, and otherwise we have to print it out as peace. Let's look at one sample example. So here we have the test cases, the number of test cases as 3. So we have 3 different lengths for the number of students. One, for the first example, the number of students is 3. For the second one, the number of students is 3, and for the third one, we have the number of students as 4. So we have the n space separated integers given to us. For the first, second, we have 3, and for the third one, we have 4 scores. So according to the first example, there is only one topper, so we will print out as peace. According to the second example, we have 2 toppers, so we'll be printing out it as fight. And for the third example, we have only single topper, that is the third student, so we'll be printing out it as peace. So this is the sample output: peace, fight, peace. These are the particular constraints that we are supposed to follow, that is the test cases will be less than 10, and the number of students will be less than 105. So this helps us in giving the information about the variables, the data type of the variables that we are supposed to use. So this is the explanation of the example we saw earlier. So in the first case, there is only one topper, that is the third student. In the second case, there are 2 toppers, that is the first and the third student. And in the third case, only one guy got a score of 4, that is the highest score. So there is only one topper in the third example, that is the third student. So now, let us go through the program of the problem mentioned. So to start with, I am using the scanner class of the Java, and I am taking the input. I am using the scanner class to take all the inputs. Okay, so to start with, I am taking the capital T as for representing the test cases. I am taking the input of t, and I am keeping a loop by decrementing the value of t, so that the loop is iterated t times, capital T times. So inside the while loop, we will find the n, that is the number of students, and the scores array that will store the scores of all the n number of students. Now to start with, we have the for loop, which takes the input of all the scores of n number of students, and the second main nested loop, so you can see, sorts the particular array using bubble sort. So here I am sorting the array of scores using bubble sort by the variables I and j, nested looping of I and j. So after that, I'll get all the biggest values in the front, that the indices of 0, 1, like the starting indices of the array, I'll get all the biggest values. So what I'm checking is, I'm starting this next loop with 1 here, and then I'm checking that the biggest value that I stored as the scores at the index 0, if that is equal to any other element of the array scores, then I'm incrementing the counter variable. Now outside that, I'm checking if the counter variable is greater than 0. We already have one big element, right? Now if the counter variable is greater than 0, we can say that there is more than one topper. So then I'm printing out, if the counter variable is greater than 0, then I'll be printing out fight, else I'll be printing out peace. Thank you. Hope the video helped you.